Hey guys, Nintendrew here. I'm here in my brand new game room slash studio. I've been working on getting everything set up, and as you can tell, I've still got quite a bit of clutter going on, but it's been far too long since I've made a new video, so I figured it was time to bite the bullet and go ahead and make a new video for you guys. I felt you could deal with a little bit of clutter, but anyway, a few weeks ago I made a video showing off 5 lost Nintendo titles which were canceled or heavily modified before release, but then later on found and can still be played today either through emulation or with flashcards. And you guys had such a great response to that video and pointed me in the direction of so many other titles that fit that description that I felt it was time to make another sort of a part 2 to that series. So, enough of my rambling. Here are 5 more lost Nintendo titles that you can play right now. First up is The Shadow for Super Nintendo. The Shadow is a side-scrolling beat-em-up title which was in development by Ocean Software and had been planned to launch around the same time as the 1994 film of the same name. If you're a fan of games like Streets of Rage or Double Dragon, this game might have caught your eye. When I was researching this title, I couldn't seem to find any concrete information about when or how the game's ROM was leaked, or even why the game was cancelled in the first place. However, the film attached to the title saw mixed critical reception and fairly poor numbers at the box office, so this likely had a part in the game's cancellation. The leaked ROM contains 7 levels of classic beat-em-up gameplay, and like all the titles on this list, can be found pretty easily online and can be played today either through emulation or with a flash or reproduction cartridge. Next is Diddy Kong Pilot for Game Boy Advance. If you've happened to play Banjo Pilot on the Game Boy Advance, this title may look a little familiar, and with good reason. At some point during development, Diddy Kong Pilot underwent a change of direction and served as the groundwork for Banjo Pilot, which would eventually be launched in early 2005. As far back as 2000, at Nintendo's own Space World trade show event, Diddy Kong Pilot was showcased to the media outlets as a follow-up to Diddy Kong Racing on the N64. Early demonstrations even show Nintendo and Rare were considering including Mario, Peach, Toad, Wario, and others as playable characters. This idea would of course be scrapped before Banjo Pilot's release, but the character select icons and character sprites still remained hidden away in the game's ROM. Diddy Kong Pilot is an excellent and fascinating example of how a game's development can be turned on its head before launch, and again, as with all games in this video, this prototype can be played today through emulation. Next up is Sound Fantasy for Super Nintendo. Like The Shadow before it, Sound Fantasy was planned for launch on the Super Nintendo in 1994, and was reportedly meant to be a successor to Mario Paint. Like Mario Paint, the title would have been bundled with the SNES mouse, and is one of the few games which required the peripheral. The game was very near 100% complete when it was cancelled just months before its target release date, and box art had already been produced and was included in marketing materials. A prototype of the game under the early title Sound Factory was discovered in 2014, and after trading hands to an anonymous collector, the ROM was dumped and has been recovered for the gaming community. This ROM contains 3 of the 4 minigames which were to be included in the final version. Although nobody really knows exactly why the title was canned, the consensus seems to be that Nintendo didn't know how to market the game without a character tie-in, and in an age before the boom in popularity of music and rhythm games. Regardless, Sound Fantasy is an interesting point of Nintendo history and is worth checking out. Moving right along, next up is Gauntlet for Nintendo DS. Gauntlet DS was, of course, intended to be a handheld iteration of the classic hack-and-slash series, which dates back to the original title on NES. The DS version was in development by Backbone Entertainment, and featured a brand new 3D engine, 4-player online mode, and voice chat. Even today, oddly enough, the game is featured on Nintendo's website, with a release date, quote, to be determined, but of course the title has long since missed its target launch year of 2008, and likely will never see an official release. That being said, a near production-ready build of the game was leaked in 2013, and appears to have all planned features intact, including online multiplayer. According to the developers, publisher issues were to blame for this game's cancellation, but thankfully it has been recovered and the gaming community has worked to preserve the title for years to come. And finally, Force Ape for NES. Alright, this game has a pretty crazy history and possibly an even crazier premise. The title would star a genetically altered super chimpanzee with a penchant for disposing of his enemies with pro wrestling style over-the-top combat. The title was cancelled in early 1992, but eager fans continued to wonder what could have been. About 13 years later, a thread titled Force Ape was published to the Digital Press Forum, in which user Paul Brown showed images of a supposed prototype cartridge and accompanying screenshots. The community was immediately deadlocked in a heated argument between collectors urging Brown to sell the prototype and others begging him to dump the game and distribute the ROM to the public for preservation. After hundreds of comments, Paul Brown posted a final image of the Force Ape prototype smashed beyond repair shortly before revealing that the entire affair had been a hoax. The prank served to give Force Ape a new popularity within the gaming community, and those who followed the title were exuberant to see a real prototype of the game discovered and preserved following a Yahoo Japan auction in 2010. No matter how horrible or amazing the title itself may have been had it hit store shelves, it never could have lived up to the excitement and bizarre backstory of its discovery. Alright guys, that does it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the new game room, and hopefully it will continue to improve as my videos go on. I will have a new 2017 game room tour video as soon as I've got everything sorted here. Even in my absence in the past few weeks, I haven't been able to upload anything, but the sub count has continued to surpass my wildest expectations, and we are now approaching, at the time of this video, we're getting close to 35,000 subscribers. By the time I upload it, we may have already passed that number, and it is just super humbling, and it's really, I can't thank you guys enough. So, and I know I say that too much, but really, if you have any friends who would find it interesting, feel free to share it around, and otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Hey there, thanks again for watching and making it to the end of the video. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your viewership and the ongoing support of the community, especially with my move this past month. If you like what I do and would like to help out even more, I've got a link to my Patreon on the right side of your screen, and either way, I look forward to bringing you more videos in the coming weeks. Take care.